Hello and welcome back to Allie Bakes, and happy Easter. The tomb is empty and so is my stomach. So today we are making carrot cake. Let's get started. So this is pretty simple. To start off, we are going to take all-purpose flour. We have baking soda, baking powder, and salt, and then a combination of cinnamon and nutmeg and cloves and ginger going into our bowl. And that's just gonna get a little whisk. This cake doesn't exactly have a lot of spring flavors. It kind of smells like Christmas time in here with all these warm spices. But I don't know. Maybe when Jesus broke bread with the Easter bunny on Plymouth Rock, maybe they had carrot cake. And that was the first Easter. All right, there's our dry stuff. So now for the wet stuff, I have light or dark brown sugar. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. For the wet stuff, I have light or dark brown sugar. I also have white sugar. I have a teaspoon of vanilla. I have 4 eggs. I have 3/4 of a cup of unsweetened applesauce. And then I have a cup of melted coconut oil. You can use vegetable oil, but I'm trying to be a little healthy, pouring an entire cup of oil in the cake.
This will all look very liquidy, just make sure your eggs are completely combined.
The rest of this we're gonna do by hand so we do not overdevelop the flour in the cake. And take our dry stuff and add it to our wet stuff and just, ooh, that was close. And just fold it in.
When mixing by hand, you really just want to be certain that there are no flour pockets in your batter, because that would be very unpleasant.
All right, amazing. So now we're going to fold in our 2 cups of shredded carrots.
At this point, the batter is going to become very thick, almost like a fruitcake-like consistency. Just make sure your emotional support animal is around while you're taking your break to stretch out your arm.
All right, so once that's all folded in, I have roasted some chopped pecans in the oven on 300 for just like 8 minutes. So we're gonna take like half of these and put them in the cake batter. The rest will be for decoration. You don't have to add the pecans, but I like it kind of crunchy.
Now tell me that this is not the most aesthetically pleasing batter you have ever seen in your life.
Okay, so you could do this in 2 9-inch cake pans, but I'm only making this for my husband and I, and we don't need that much carrot cake. So I'm just gonna use my pastry thing, and this is probably like 20 centimeters. So might not fill it all the way up, but I'll fill it most of the way up.
If you're using a pastry ring, it'll probably splooge a little out the bottom, and that's okay.
So baking times are gonna vary depending on what receptacle you're baking this in. This is a very tall cake, so I'm thinking because of my crappy oven, this is probably gonna be like 40 minutes on 350. All right, I will see you in 40 minutes. All right, so my cake baked for like an hour and 10 minutes. My oven was clearly not hot enough. As you can see, the top is a little bit dark because it was so thick. It took so long to bake and the top just got a little overbaked, but that's okay because we're gonna cut the top off. So it looks a little unsightly right now, but we're gonna fix it. We need to let this completely cool before we ice it, so I'm gonna set it on a wire rack and let it cool for like an hour and a half. So I will see you in an hour and a half. All right, it's been about 90 minutes, so now it's time to assemble our cake. And in the spirit of the holiday, I'm going to make this a bunny cake because every year, as long as I was growing up, someone in my family made a bunny cake. So my first task is to carve off the rancid top looking part of the cake. That's a little dark. It's all gonna get covered with icing, but I don't really want to bite into like a crunchy crunchy part of the cake, so we're gonna slice this thing off. But other than that, the cake actually looks like it is pretty well baked. It looks very moist. I just did not want to over bake the carrot cake because yuck. It's fine. Oh, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Now we're gonna cut this in half and then we're gonna assemble our bunny. This cake is very fragile because it's so moist. I did it.
I used my other cake round to cut out 2 bunny ears. I would have also done a bow tie, but I literally did not have room. This was a big bunny.
Okay, now we're gonna make some frosting. Cream cheese frosting. So we're starting with 8 ounces of room temperature cream cheese. And then we have 1/4 of a cup of unsalted butter.
Whisk these together until completely combined.
Okay, we're gonna add just a dash of vanilla. Oh, that was a big dash, that's okay. Once that is really beat together and nice and soft, we're gonna start adding our powdered sugar. Probably in the ballpark of 2 cups, but we're just gonna kind of eyeball it and see what looks good. Alrighty, so I have my prepared piping bag that our frosting is gonna go into.
My frosting ended up with the consistency of soft serve ice cream. It probably would have been preferable for it to be a little bit stiffer for the purposes of piping it onto my cake, but the more powdered sugar you add, the sweeter the frosting is, and I don't love a super sweet cream cheese frosting.
I need a rotating table, that's what I need.
After I finished piping, I took the rest of those toasted pecans and used them to outline my bunny. And for a little grass landscape, I added green food coloring to desiccated coconut.
Make a nice little bunny landscape.
And there you have it, my take on the Easter bunny cake, a bit non-traditional, but delicious nonetheless.
Alrighty, I kinda wish I wouldn't have frosted the sides because the cream cheese frosting does not have the structural integrity needed to keep its shape, so it just looks kind of like meh, and you can't see the beautiful cake. So provided the opportunity to make this again, probably won't ice the sides. Probably just let you be able to see the carrot cake. Nevertheless, let's try this.
Now this bunny cake was dense, moist, and full of amazing textures.
Hope you don't mind if you guys just sit here and watch me eat this whole thing. It is so moist. It's like the texture of pumpkin bread, like a really moist pumpkin bread. Nice and chewy with the pecans, and the carrots give it a really nice texture. That is awesome. The frosting is perfect. I'm just not a big frosting fan, so I'm really in it for the cake. That's a good bunny. That's a good bunny.
Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see ya in the next one.